Hello and welcome to As Built, the podcast from Graphic Machine about architecture firms and buildings and how both get built. I'm your co-host, Patience Jones. With me is
Brian Jones.
And today we are talking about holiday prep time because it's probably 150 degrees out wherever you are listening to this. And what better thing to do than think about the holidays?
Yeah, it's really exciting.
But the reason that we talk about this now is some hard-won experience with not thinking about holidays until the holidays are upon us.
Yep.
And you end up with that. It's December 10th and we don't know what we're doing and we've got to get to do something and we don't know what feeling. So what we're doing is trying to help everyone keep from being in that position. So there are a couple of things to think about when you're thinking about holidays. Assuming you're thinking about holidays ever in your company. If your company doesn't observe any holidays and doesn't acknowledge them, you don't have to listen to this episode.
There you go.
But if you do, and your clients do, which is more important, it's a good episode for you.
So where to begin?
I would say with cards. Because cards, if you're sending print cards, they can take a long time to print and they can take a long time to mail.
And let's back up for a second. There can be some internal processes that make those take a long time too in the decision-making process. I think that is being generous.
That is also true. Okay, let me rephrase that. The cards are the thing to start with because we know that at least there are external factors beyond your control that can take a long time. And then, yes. So the first debate that you're going to need to have is, are you sending cards? Are you doing digital cards? Are you doing print cards? Or are you doing both?
Take it one step further and say, have you established a budget for all of your holiday activities relative to communications? So that might impact whether or not you're making that decision when you look at the totality of your budget from everything.
Yeah, cards are a big pain in the what. So the first thing you have to decide is, are you sending them out? Generally, it's a good idea to send them, especially if you have sent them in the past. If you've never sent cards before, you don't have to do it. If you've sent them before and you don't send them this year, sometimes that is interpreted as, oh, they went out of business. So you don't want that. Mm-hmm. It's worth the cost, if you can swing it, of...
And it really depends on the level of the type of firm that you are. I think if you're a residential firm, your approach to holidays may be much more tailored and personalized. When you're a larger firm and you have a lot more clients that you have to reach out to, it may be more. And so taking that into account in terms of, and how much time do you actually have to put towards this, or how much time in your firm do you have to put towards this, is also detailed.
The first thing you're going to need to do after you decide that you're sending cards is to collect addresses, whether those are email addresses or mailing addresses. And that can take a long time if you don't have a CRM. If you're trying to do that this year without a CRM, I guarantee you that by January 15th, you will be looking at CRMs because you will never, ever want to do it again this way. But getting that card list is really the first step, because any quotes that you get for printing, and frankly, any email distribution services will need to know how many you are planning to send out. You don't know how many you're planning to send out until you have that list.
We've talked about the how, but an equally important question is the why. And I think it's a really good opportunity to frame your firm in a human way. And I think that there's so few opportunities sometimes to do that, or the work takes over and you get wrapped up in your day-to-day. But it can be a nice moment for that. It can also be a time to showcase the people in your firm. It can be an opportunity to showcase something that is unique that you've done in the past year. So for me, that kind of supports the why, why you would want to do it. How about you?
Really just that, and also making sure people know that you're still in business. It is a nice way to bring yourself to top of mind with somebody. Maybe you did projects with them previously and they get your card and they go, oh yeah, I need to reach out to them. Or, oh yeah, we have this thing coming up. I'm going to send it to them. And it makes people happy at the end of the day. I know it doesn't seem like it does, but it really does.
You've thought of them.
Yeah, it matters.
It does. And I think this is an interesting moment where some of the things that you do inside your firm in terms of communication around the holidays or things and celebration that you might structure or put together, those may inform future things that you might want to do externally with your clients. Maybe you have an celebration that you bring people into the office and you want to have an opportunity to talk with them. Or again, it could be something simple like the card that you're talking about too. So there's no wrong answer, but know the personality of your firm, know the personality of your clients, and take those all into account when you're thinking about, like, from a budget perspective, from a time involved perspective, and from an activity perspective, what gets you a good outcome on all those fronts.
So the next thing is client gift. To gift or not to gift?
I think that this has to be a personal statement from the firm. And there's a lot of different ways and a lot of forms that gifts can take. We've seen donation-based gifts where people do a day of service, or the firm does a day of service and on behalf of all of their clients or something along that line, or they donate to a worthy cause. So it doesn't necessarily have to be items that they're purchasing for a client. If you are thinking about the purchasing of a client, gift for a client, yeah, then you get back to the top of the episode. What's your budget? and how are you going to make people feel valued and cared for and not insulted, hopefully. So it's a tricky line and an important one to note.
And keep in mind, if you are sending gifts physically, so not e-gifts, but a physical gift, you need to confirm that there will be somebody at that address to receive the gift. If it has to be signed for, that somebody can sign for it, because there's nothing more deflating than going to all this time to find this really great gift, spending a lot of money to have it purchased and sent, and then it ends up not getting delivered, returned to sender, lost, because it turns out that clients' offices were closed for 2 weeks for the holidays.
Sure. And the word gift is in this part of the conversation here, but I would say take that to heart, that it is a gift and not a tactical marketing effort that is over branded to within an inch of its life. I've seen that happen before, where it's like the desire is to be about you and not about the people that you're giving the gift. And this is one of those moments where you need to err on the side of being about them.
Yeah. Is it a gift or is it just stuff?
Is it swag?
Yeah. Like a box that comes with a branded beer koozie with your firm's name on it. And that's not a gift for me. That's just something I now have to figure out what to do with.
Yeah. And maybe I don't want to have to dispose of another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where it really is important to understand who your clients are and what matters to them. If one of your clients is, for example, like a very green, environmentally focused company, think about that before you buy gifts for them that just are stuff.
Yeah.
Think about what matters. And the same thing is true of donations and service. It is most appreciated by a client who values those same things. So if your client is very into animals and you make a donation to an animal shelter, or you do a day of service at an animal rescue, that's great. If you do that and your client really isn't all that into animals, they might be like, okay, that's nice. You did the thing that you wanted to do and you wrote it off as being a gift for me.
Yeah.
And that's not the feeling that you want to leave people with.
So speaking of not wanting to leave people where they might be left in terms of the gift, is employees come to mind.
Oh, employee gifts. It's such a landmine.
Yeah.
It's a super landmine. If you did employee gifts last year or the year before, you probably need to think about doing employee gifts now.
And here's the trick for employee gifts. Most people are going to want bonuses instead of an object. And so sometimes an object could be not well received if the desire is for cash. So there's that. The other thing is that they may want a choice in how they're thanked. And because that's really what you're doing at the end of the day with the gift, is thanking them for the work that they've done for the firm. And it's really important to treat it as such. And if the thing that you're giving them or the reward that you're giving them does not come across in that way, then put it back for reconsideration because you haven't arrived at the right answer yet.
Yeah. One of the most, and this has been studied, and I'll try to see if I can find the site, put it in the show notes, but the most impactful gift that a company can give to its employees is what they call the gift of choice. And that can mean, okay, which one of these three things do you want? Or we're getting everybody iPads. What color do you want? Or what subscription of the month club do you want? The cost obviously has to be something that you can support not only this year, but in future years, because there will be expectations that are created. But you can find lots of different things at lots of different price points. Bonuses can be great. There are tax consequences to bonuses. So it's important to understand from your finance team, what are you really going to be giving somebody? Because giving them a bonus of $1,000 doesn't mean that they will end up with $1,000 in their pocket. And what you don't want to do is create an economic hardship for somebody because you were trying to give them a bonus.
Yep. Or does they think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Understanding what they might want and whether it's better to do cash or it's better to do an item. I think that unlike clients, though, making a donation in your employee's name or on behalf of your employee is not advised. That does not go over well with employees.
Nope.
They are perfectly capable of making their own donations with their own money that you are giving them.
See the top about choice. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Because they will see that as, oh, you got a tax deduction for my gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last but not least, holiday parties. It's a tough one because
it's a really tough one.
This boils down to understanding the culture of your firm and what make it up in that particular year. So what I mean by that is the personality types. Are they personality types where having a socialization event is something that is seen as a reward and not a punishment?
Mm-hmm.
And really take that to heart and not make that the moment that everybody has their holiday interaction if that's not something that's desired.
And understand who your workforce is comprised of. If you have lots of parents that have children that are going to have holiday commitments and holiday concerts and everything else, a holiday party is another drain on their time. Holidays usually also come at a time when people tend to be getting sick. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to allow that some percentage of the attendees probably won't be able to come because either they'll be sick or people in their family are sick and they have to take care of them. Just think about, if we do a holiday party the way that we are thinking about doing it, what demands does that put on the people coming in terms of time, transportation, childcare? Do they have to buy new clothes for it? Are you having some black tie Christmas party? Think about all those things.
And think about, to that point, holiday events can take on a lot of different forms. It could be a luncheon. It could be a breakfast. It could be something immediately after work. It doesn't have to be an extravaganza if that's not in the nature of your firm and not within your budget.
Yeah. One client ordered a crepe truck. It's this amazing creperie in town. And so they had the crepe truck come and they told everybody, okay, for lunch and snack and dessert and whatever else, crepes are on us, whatever kind of crepe you want. And they had people at their office that were gluten intolerant. So they made sure that they had gluten-free crepes. And when the people who were gluten intolerant were told that there was a gluten-free crepe option, you would have thought somebody just handed them $1 million. And the reason I say that is because the point of the gift is to say, I recognize you for who you are and what you do for this company.
And that we value.
And that you're valued.
Mm-hmm.
And that conveyance that you're valued can be done in so many different ways. And it wasn't about, here's this really expensive bottle of scotch. It was, no, these are crepes that you're being served out of a truck in a parking lot. They're delicious, but it's a crepe. But it really mattered that they had gone to that extra step. People felt really valued, and it was a big success. So parties can take on all kinds of forms.
Big takeaways.
The holidays are coming. Start planning now. Just start planning now, because it will save you costs. It will give you more options, and it will make sure that stuff gets done when you want it to get done and delivered, versus all of a sudden it's like a President's Day gift.
Yeah. Recognize the parts that are about you and the parts that are not. The budget, it's about you. The gifts, not about you. About the other person. The party and holiday events, not about you. It should be about showing appreciation and affection for your workers.
Yep, right on. Well, we have great affection for you for listening to this episode. Start making your holiday lists. We are going to have in the show notes a downloadable holiday checklist and ideal timelines so that everything is done when you need it to be done. So check that out, and we will see you next time.